Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the New Jersey region Get EVAL Certified. This is Julie Bond with Best Workplaces for Commuters, and I will serve as your host today. Our guest speakers are Krishna Murthy and Lisa Lee, both with Easy Ride. The United States includes 6 EVAL regions, as shown on this map, and today we're going to focus on the New Jersey region. However, if you are from another state, you're welcome to be here today and learn about the overall program. We have previous webinars for each region, and you may watch the recordings at any time. For more information, just go to bestworkplaces.org. Our goal for our program is to be interactive, so we're here to address your questions today and to share more information so you can feel confident in your path toward becoming electric vehicle adoption leadership certified. In a moment, we'll jump in, but first, here's our agenda. Again, our EVAL partner speaker is Krishna Murthy from Easy Ride and Lisa Lee, also from Easy Ride. And we encourage you to please ask questions in the Q&A box at any point during the presentation. So we'll reserve that time at the end, but you can type those in the Q&A box anytime, and you can also chat with us in the chat. So a little bit about Best Workplaces, the partnership between Best Workplaces for Commuters, which is a national recognition program to support workplaces that have robust commuter benefits, and Forth, our partner, is quite synergistic, we think. Supporting EV charging at workplaces aligns well with our program's goal of expanding access to greener commuting choices. BWC is the national authority on recognizing and assisting workplaces that provide exceptional commuter benefits to employees. You can see on this slide at a glance, we recognized 762 work sites with impact to 1.7 million commuters this year. Okay, and now I am excited to welcome our guest speakers. So we have 2 today, and first I'm going to introduce Krishna Murthy. And Krishna is the president and CEO of Easy Ride, a nonprofit transportation management association, TMA, overseeing transportation programs and services that improve accessibility while also reducing congestion and air pollution. With a diverse educational background in business, engineering, and planning, he is implementing speed studies, fleet electrification, and workplace charging solutions in response to growing concerns about safety and climate change. Now, before joining Easy Ride in 1992, Krishna served as a research assistant at the University Transportation Research Center at City College in New York. And next, we have Lisa Lee, also with Easy Ride. Lisa is the Director of Sustainability Programs at Easy Ride. She oversees the EV Accelerator Program and the Bicyclist and Pedestrian Program. She connects and encourages stakeholders to promote electric vehicles and workplace charging to reduce emissions and protect New Jersey's natural environment. She received a BA from Wellesley College and an executive MPA from Rutgers University School of Public Affairs and Administration. So I'm very happy to have both of you here with us today, and I'm going to turn the time over to you.
Great. Thank you, Julie, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time off your busy schedule and choosing to spend some time with us. And my goal over the next few minutes is to share with you the story of Easy Ride and why we embrace workplace charging. And then my colleague, Lisa Lee, who is the Director of Sustainability Programs, will get into the finer details of the EVAL Certification Program. So the story of Easy Ride is of a transportation innovation hub, kind of responding to the changing transportation needs of our communities. We are a nonprofit transportation management association, or TMA, that Julia referred to, that was created in response to the gas crisis of the 1970s, helping businesses to get their employees to work by forming carpools and vanpools. And at that point, one company, Hoffman LaRoche, alone had more than 400 vanpools. And Hoffman LaRoche was the predecessor to Genentech. And now in early 2000, the Federal Welfare to Work program was launched. And that provided funding for shuttle services to access public transit and help low-income workers to access jobs. And we launched a shuttle program with a fleet of about 30 buses that operated 24/7 and transported more than 2,000 riders each day. In 2010, the feds launched the United We Ride initiative, and the focus was on providing transportation services for seniors, for clients with reduced mobility, and low-income commuters. And we started a volunteer driver program that later morphed with Lyft and Uber to what we now call the Easy Ride Life Ride program. And that serves more than 3,000 clients, and we provide more than 100,000 rides with Lyft and Uber. And in 2020, the focus again shifted towards safety. There were concerns about pedestrian and bike safety, and the feds launched the Safe Route to School program. And we essentially worked with about 1,000 schools, 170 municipalities, hosting more than 400 events each year to get the word about safe walking and biking. And we also launched speed studies to monitor vehicular traffic and to assist municipalities with traffic management. And now, in response to concerns about climate change and public health, we have introduced the EV Accelerator program. So the focus areas of Easy Ride have expanded. Next slide, please. So our traditional transportation programs, we like to think of them as our legacy programs, carpools and vanpools and shuttles, have moved on to a different level. And now we have transportation programs that are also technology driven. So programs with Lyft and Uber that I alluded to a moment ago, and safety programs like speed studies. And now for the first time with our EV Accelerator program, we're kind of working at the intersection of transportation, technology, and energy. And that is kind of a paradigm shift for our organization. Next slide, please. So the EV Accelerator program that we talked about is all things EV. It's about EV education and outreach. It's about classes on e-bikes and e-scooters, exploring e-cargo bikes, EVAL certification, fleet transition plans. But at the heart of it, it's all about workplace charging. And the question that we grapple with is, next slide, please. And this is the question that we are still grappling with, that we do not provide gas to our employees. Why do we have to provide electricity? And is this a benefit that we are providing for a chosen few? And will the chargers become an underutilized stranded asset? So the good news is, definitely, we are having a lot more affordable EVs. There are more lower cost EVs today than even a few months ago. So Rivian has come up with the R2 and R3, and those are cost about half of the R1s. So the R2s cost about $45,000 compared to the R1s that cost somewhere around $80,000 to $90,000. And Rivian also has plans to launch an R3, which is even to be priced even at a lower price point. Similarly, Lucid has announced that they're going to come up with a cheaper mid-size vehicle in 2026 to compete with Tesla with a price point of around $50,000. Chevy is kind of coming up with the electric Blazer SUV, again, lower price, revised software to compete with Tesla Model Y, I'm sorry. So we are having a lot more choices. They're going to have more affordable EVs, and that I think is going to encourage more people to purchase EVs. And more EVs have already been purchased in 2023. I think for the first time, more than 1 million EVs have been sold, and this is according to CNN, and that 9% of all the new passenger vehicles sold in the US have been EVs. And I think the tipping point they talk about is about 13% when forecasters expect EVs to take off. So I think there is a justification for kind of a culture reset as far as supporting EVs are concerned in the workplace. So the reason that we think we need to support workplace charging is that it really provides businesses a competitive edge. It is a differentiator. It's a great marketing tool. And the first thing that it does is it definitely helps us to recruit and retain employees. There is an acute shortage of staff. I don't know about other businesses. My company has more than 25 vacancies. And those vacancies are not going to be filled anytime soon. The reason that we are having those large number of vacancies has to do with the baby boom generation and the large number of people who are retiring from the workforce. And so any opportunity to kind of tap into a younger workforce that is what we like to think about as kind of the EV workforce, I think is a step in the right direction. And the second part, which I think is equally important, is when we talk about competitive advantage, it's not only with the employees, it's also got to do with attracting clients and tenants. Think about the hospitality industry. If you're thinking about hotels or restaurants, and anyone driving an EV will look for a hotel if they're going to spend a night at some place. And so clearly, this is a differentiator for those businesses. And the same goes for somebody who's trying to rent an apartment or an office space. I think for us, it is important to think of it as a package and not separate the employees from our clients. I think what's good for employees is also good for your business. And so by inference, what that does is it does increase the property value. So a fully leased building will definitely command a higher price than something that's half empty. So anybody who controls real estate, whether you own it or lease it, I think should consider EV charging solutions as a differentiator and as a marketing tool. And that kind of leads us to the next question. So what does it cost? So the operating cost that we have looked at, if you're going to have a level 2 charger, it's kind of in the $13 to $14 per day. And that assumes that we're going to be operating the charger for about 10 hours a day. And that's going to give us enough energy for about 300 miles that could be shared by several employees. The assumption is that employees are going to come and they're going to top up. They're not coming there with a near empty battery to get the vehicle charged. And that's based on the energy consumption. We are assuming that we're going to charge for about 10 hours at about 7.2 kilowatts, that's 72 kilowatts. And the cost of charging, at least here for us, is about 17 cents. And that translates into about a little under $13. And the networking cost is an additional 70 cents. So the total cost is going to be in that range of about $13 to $14. And of course, we always have the option to pass on the cost of providing the charging to the employees who choose to use it. The second part that I think is equally important is the capital cost. And we have a number of grants, and these grants cover the cost for the charger as well as for the installation. And the grants are primarily from a couple of different agencies. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So the next one, as far as the New Jersey state incentives are concerned, the first is DEP. And DEP provides incentives pretty much for every entity except for single-family homes. They're providing us up to $750 per port for level 1 chargers. And of course, they do have a maximum not to exceed 5 ports. They also support level 2 chargers, and they provide up to $4,000 per port. And they have a maximum of 20 ports per site. And the fast chargers, they're willing to support up to $200,000 per site. And yes, they do mandate a 2-port minimum. So I think the support that we're getting from DEP are very generous, and they're very broad. We really don't have to be concerned about whether you're a nonprofit, a for-profit, and a multi-dwelling unit. As long as it is not a private home, you are able to access this funding streams to cover your costs, the capital cost of your charger. And similarly, the Board of Public Utilities, which is the entity that controls which is a regulatory body that controls all the utilities, also provides some incentives. So they have two kind of incentives. They provide about $4,000 per charger, and this is primarily for fleets in those communities that are defined as overburdened. And then they also provide up to $5,000 for chargers in the public domain. So the grants are pretty generous for chargers that are open to the public. And in addition to that, they also provide some make-ready incentives. Primarily, they provide up to 50%, up to $5,000 per charger. So there definitely are some constraints in terms of who can apply. And I think that is something that we would definitely recommend any applicant to review before they go full speed on it. So similarly, we have grants from the utilities. These grants are primarily from PSE&G, from Atlantic City Electric, and JCP&L. And the requirements for these different utilities vary. For example, for PSE&G, they provide up to $7,000, $7,500 per charger. Atlantic provides only 50%, up to $4,500, and JCPL provides only $5,000. And there are also other constraints in terms of the number of charges that they will pay for. But funding is also kind of split between what the utility companies will pay for the utility side and the customer side. And by that, we mean the improvements that have to be made behind the meter or what needs to happen from the pole to the meter. But the bottom line is we do have very generous incentives as a state, from not only from DEP, but also from the Board of Public Utilities, as well as all the utility companies that operate in New Jersey. Kind of which brings us to the next question, and that is, what is the effort involved? So the resources that we can tap into are primarily three. We definitely can tap into resources from NJDEP and from Forth, as well as from CalSTAR. And there is some overlap between what is offered between these three sources. And the first source that I alluded to is from DEP. Can you move to the next slide, please? So the DEP's Workplace Charging Toolkit provides the most comprehensive information for workplace charging in New Jersey. It includes all the information about all the incentives that I kind of briefly alluded to in some of the earlier slides. In addition, it has a section on frequently asked questions, on terminology, and anything that you need as far as getting your workplace charging program up off the ground is available here. And the next source that we have is from Forth. So the difference between what DEP offers and what Forth offers is that Forth offers a national perspective. They also have a great publication about best practices. They also have a directory of local providers and installers. And this is just a whole lot of other information that you could tap into. So this is also a great resource that we could be looking at for those of us here in New Jersey. And the third resource that we'd like to talk about briefly is the Charge at Work website. This provides more technical information to plan your program. And the Charge at Work actually provides a suite of tools, resources, technical assistance, and it also offers assistance with putting together a site plan, identifying technologies, connecting with local installers. And it actually has a tool to kind of build your own program, which I think is kind of unique to this particular site. So there it is. If you could go to the next slide. So you have all the resources and the recognition. So the workplace charging, I think it is worth doing. It will not empty your bank account. And you have a lot of resources that you could tap into. And you have organizations who are vested in your success and could help you shorten the learning cycle. I'm talking about DEP, Forth, Easy Ride, the utility companies, and a host of other entities. And the best part is that you will receive national recognition for what you're trying to do. And for that, I will turn it over to Lisa Lee, our Director of Sustainable Programs, to talk about that. Lisa?
Thank you, Krishna. So EVAL is a program rolled out with the Department of Energy funding last fall to improve all Americans' access to electric vehicle charging. Many of us have become dependent on our smartphones, and we all know what it feels like to see that we only have 10% charge left. As the US transitions to battery electric vehicles, that same need for access to charging is imperative for those of us who must travel in our daily lives for work, school, healthcare, or other activities. When I first purchased my 2022 EV last fall, I experienced a bit of range anxiety. And you can actually go back a slide. I'll let you know. I work in Bergen County, which is in North Jersey, but my home is an hour south in Central Jersey. And I have to travel to Passaic, Union, as well as Essex County for work. And I wondered if I'd have enough power, to get around. But I care enough about our planet that I wanted to make that change. What I found is that I absolutely love my EV. I can use it to get around with careful planning, I no longer need to pay for gas. And best of all, I know I'm doing my part to not add to the carbon emissions when I travel. Next slide. Yep. So EVAL is an effort to encourage business and community leaders to implement their sustainability goals and start the process of transitioning their workplaces to offer EV charging. The program provides national recognition and offers resources to help organizations make a plan to install EV chargers for their employees who drive EVs of all different kinds, whether that's cars, e-bikes, or e-scooters. And the program encourages employers to make those charging sources available to the public after hours, or to arrange with other companies who may have chargers to provide access for your staff long-term or in the interim while you transition your site. As Krishna noted, it also shows your employees that you really value our planet and future generations. I know how happy I was when I found out that EasyRide was not only electrifying our fleet, but was also planning to install chargers for employees. Next slide. So Krishna spoke earlier about the reasons for and the benefits of adding workplace charging, but overall, the program aims to increase the number of chargers available to support a change to clean transportation. And it's very important to acknowledge that this change to new technologies will also bolster our economy, create more jobs, and many new opportunities. Next slide. Best of all, this is your chance to start this process for free. The window to get certified at no cost will only be available until October 31st. And right now, the site makes it easy to certify multiple office locations at no cost. So you can understand why large chains like IKEA have already started the process with the aim of getting certified in the next 6 months. If you are a county or a municipality or a business with multiple sites in our state, it would be a good idea to do the process now while you don't have to pay a fee. Once that date passes, there will be a tiered pricing structure to get certified, which will apply to every location. And those who get certified now and at a lower level and want to recertify at a higher level down the line in the future will still have to pay another fee. So basically, the time is now to do this. Next slide. Now you might wonder who can apply. Well, pretty much every employer from every industry can apply and get a bronze certification this year in the next 6 months, even those who don't have a parking lot. I've done a thorough analysis of the categories which award points and have determined that an organization which focuses on assessing employee needs, policy change, and planning for the future can be bronze certified in the next 6 months. This slide shows that those who can apply, and it highlights that those who only install chargers for their fleet or who work from home are not eligible for certification. Only those organizations which work on charging for employees and the public are qualified to apply. Next. So there are 4 recognition levels. And as I noted, an organization can earn a bronze certification if they get 15 out of the 100 total points. To earn a gold certification, you have to get a lot more at 55 and install an EV charger. Next slide. The certification process itself is very, very simple. You just go through a series of online questions. They're either yes or no. They could be multiple choice, or they could be short answer. And throughout the process, the system provides links to resources, and you can save your answers, work on your strategies, and then return again to continue until you finally click the submit button. You can reach out at any time to us here at EasyRide or to Forth for assistance. And if you have any questions, after you finally submit your application, it will take them about 2 weeks to review it, and then you'll get a response from them. Next slide. So the questions themselves are very straightforward, and as shown, they're organized into 5 broad categories. Understanding employees' e-mobility needs. You can do that through a survey. Initiating planning for the workplace charging program. Incentivizing the adoption of e-mobility. Expanding access to EV chargers. And showcasing sustainability leadership through your innovative programs. Next. So as I started the process for Easy Ride, I wanted to see all of the questions in advance to plan. And there's a very helpful 5-page resource available on the site that lists all of the questions with the point values, as well as a glossary of key terms. Definitely look at that. Easy Ride, however, has gone a step further. We've created a 1-page spreadsheet that lists all the questions with points to help our fellow New Jerseyans plan a route to get to the desired recognition level. And if you email us, I can share that roadmap with you. Not only will Easy Ride be here to hold your hand through the process and provide assistance, we've actually already planned our recognition ceremony this fall on September 26th in the middle of the state to honor all of the employers here in New Jersey who get certified in this first year of the program. I really hope that those of you who are listening today will join us and celebrate our achievements as sustainability champions. Once you get your office site set up for employee charging, if you need help doing the same for your vehicle fleet, please call us. We're doing that here at Easy Ride with our fleet right now, and we would be happy to assist you with your transition. Next slide. So that brings me to our call for action. I hope we have inspired you to make a Charge at Work pledge today. It doesn't cost anything. There's no deadline to get your chargers installed. I've put the link to the pledge site in the chat to make it easy for you. Just click it now and open up the site. Also, please register and start that EVAL certification process today. The link is in the chat. Browse the site, investigate all of the resources that Krishna and I spoke of today, and register to get certified. As I said, you can save your progress, come back another day, and go through the questionnaire when you're ready. And finally, email us here at Easy Ride. Let us send you that 1-page sheet I spoke about. You will see how easy it is yourself to earn a bronze award or higher in the next few months. Next slide. Please join other New Jersey employers who are sustainability leaders, counties, municipalities, state government, universities, commercial real estate, hospitals, small companies, nonprofits like Easy Ride, and large multi-state employers, and come and get EVAL certified. We have to work hand in hand to bring the US into the age of advanced transportation tech for the sake of our planet and future generations. Thanks for listening, and back to you, Julie. Krishna's going to go over these things later.
Hey, wow. Well, thanks, Lisa and Krishna. I am impressed. New Jersey, it has incentives statewide. You've really gone the extra effort to make it easy for anyone in New Jersey to complete the certification, and you have an award ceremony planned. That's really, really great. So that's exciting to hear. So we do have some questions coming in. So again, anyone who is listening can type questions in the Q&A box. And so we will move into the Q&A session. So the first question we have for you is, what is the level of effort for completing the eval form?
Well, as I said before, it's actually very simple, right? There's those 5 categories, and there is the questions. Once you take a look at them, you'll understand better the different types of categories where you can win points. I don't think any of it is exceptionally hard. And when you take a look at it, you can decide how you want to do it. So that's the great thing about it. There's 100 points. You only need 15 to get a bronze award. So you can figure out what works for you. There are companies who already have installed EV chargers. I expect It'll be very easy for them to go through that questionnaire, literally probably in one day, and get the platinum certification. For others who have not yet installed them, it's going to be a little bit longer of a process, but once you look at that roadmap, you'll be able to decide what you're going to focus on and go from there.
Great. And you also mentioned that you have gone the extra step and you have a spreadsheet that they can complete. And so they can look at all the questions and then easily answer them and then complete the application. So that's really great. Okay, thank you, Lisa. So the next question is about if your company is a tenant in a building and the property owners have installed L2 chargers, who gets certified? Is it the tenant, the property owner, or both?
Krishna, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have the correct answer for this, and I think it is something that I would definitely ask Forth or Alexander to answer that question.
Okay, great. So we will find out some more information on that one, on who is to certify. And again, that is about who would certify in a building. So, okay, we will find that answer for you. Okay, let's see. So also we have another question is you mentioned that you can certify now when there's no cost, and there are the different levels. Bronze, silver, and such. And if you want to upgrade, is there any type of fee afterwards during the process, after the fee is implemented? Would that be a cost once you're already certified?
So if you start to recertify before the October 31st deadline, there won't be a cost. But if you get certified now, like for say example at a silver level, and then you decide next year that you want to go for gold or platinum, then there will be an associated fee with that. So it is to your advantage to do as much as you can now before that October 31st deadline, because once November 1st hits, boom, you're going to have to pay a fee. It may not be very large. That will be, I think, dependent. They're going to have a tiered structure. So it may depend on how many sites. It may depend on how large your space is. That is something that Forth is working on right now. But I'm sure that, once they have that decision, it will be on the website.
Great. Okay. Another question. So you talked about operating, and does the operating cost include the cost of electricity?
Yes, it does. I think that was the easiest answer to give you.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Another question that we have come up is, how do you certify multiple locations? So if it's one employer, but they have multiple locations throughout New Jersey, what do you suggest is the easiest way to do that?
So they recently made that a much easier process. Rather than every site having to do their own application, the home office can do that for every single site right now. So that's a good thing, because again, like I said, there's no cost. They can do every single site now, but after October 31st, every site will incur that fee. So get going, everyone.
That's right. Okay, so you mentioned to understand employee e-mobility, that was one of the categories that they could do a survey. Do you provide help with an employee survey through Easy Ride?
We can, but there actually is a template survey on the website. And it's, if they don't like that one, they can Google it. There are many different employee survey templates that are out there, but there's a very good one on both the EVAL site, and I believe it's also on the Charge at Work site. It's considered one of the first steps that any site should do to consider, obviously, what their employees need.
Oh, great. So that's good information to know. So they will have a template. They can use the one that's on the site, or they can contact you if they have some questions on that. Okay. Let's see. So you talked about the charge at work pledge, and can you explain that a little bit more? So what happens once they go in and take that pledge? What happens next?
Krishna, I guess for me.
Uh-oh. We're gonna turn that over to
That is for
Krishna.
you.
Once you make that pledge, the great thing is, if you go look at the Charge at Work site, which the link is there, they will actually contact you to send your logo, and it will go up on this national website. What a fantastic, marketing, promotional vehicle for your business. So definitely make the pledge. After that, after you make the pledge, then the next step would be to go to that EVAL certification site, start looking at what you want to do. So it's very simple, honestly. There's nothing hidden. So just first go to the site, the Charge at Work site, look through resources, make your pledge. And then if you want, you could sit on your pledge for 2 weeks, a month, or even wait for a while. But I would urge you, take a look right away at the EVAL site because there's no fee, and decide how you want to proceed next.
Great. Okay. This is great. It really sounds like everything is within that site, all the resources plus your assistance. So we have one last questions. Do you or does the site have any case studies of employers providing EV incentives? Are there any case studies if they just want to get an example of what someone else is doing, either on the website or through Easy Ride?
So at this point, I don't think we have any case studies on our website. And I think probably Easy Ride is going to be the first case study, because we are going to be spending a whole lot of time on putting together a fleet transition plan. And that's happening on a parallel track, and which I hope will be the first case study, at least on our website.
Great. Okay, well, I think that wraps up all the questions. And so we do have a survey we would like attendees to take, and Christine is going to put that into the chat. So if you could take that, and if you want further assistance from Easy Ride or from Best Workplaces, you can indicate that on your survey. One last question for you. Is your award ceremony going to be virtual or in person?
So this award ceremony is always in person. We
Okay.
definitely meet people, and it is what we call the Champions of Change Recognition Award. And
Okay.
it's a pretty apt title for what we are trying to accomplish here.
Great. Okay, well, I'm sure everyone will look forward to that. And if you have any other questions, again, you can contact any of us. Our emails are up on the screen, and we are more than happy to work with you through this process. So Lisa and Krishna, thank you so much. Those were great presentations. I learned a lot, and look forward to working with you.
Great. Just want to say thank you to you, to Julie, to Christine, and of course to Alexandra for hosting this webinar. We really appreciate the opportunity. And I also wanted to say thanks to a whole bunch of people here in New Jersey who have supported our efforts. That includes DEP and New Jersey Transit, the Meadowlands Chamber, the Newark Chamber, the North Jersey Chamber, and a whole host of other organizations. We couldn't have done anything without their help and support, and I think we'll continue to work with them. So thank you.
Great. Looks like you have a really great group there in New Jersey. So we're looking forward to the great things you're going to be doing.
Thank you.
With that, everyone have
Thanks.
a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Make your pledge.